What is going on, fellow 3D printing folk? That is what I'm going to call you because there's not a proper term for us. 3D printing folk. Yes, I'm doing that. Welcome back to another exciting video. I posted my, fourth or fifth print on my Anycubic Cobra Max, and you guys loved it. It was fantastic. You guys also had a lot of questions. But first, before I get into those questions, this Dr. Fate helmet is what came out of my Anycubic Cobra Max. Of course, I printed it upside down because that's how I do all my prints. So if you're wondering how I orientated on the bed, I do all my helmets upside down. Yes, it leaves damages on the top, but you know what? That's nothing a little sanding and Bondo can't handle. But you guys really love this print and I love it. And it also came with a ton of questions like, what are your print settings? Do you use Cura? What about Simplified 3D? Does it fit? Yes. How long did it take? What kind of PLA did you use? Are you going to reach 1,000 subscribers? I really hope I get to 1,000 subscribers. That would be cool. So I'm going to answer all of these questions for you, mainly my Cura settings, okay? So I'm going to open up Cura, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to show you guys exactly what my settings are, and if you're running a Anycubic Cobra Max, you can try this. Now, I don't necessarily think that the settings in Cura are going to translate well across printers. I've never had that happen before. Personally, I don't like Cura. It's slow when it comes to slicing, and it takes forever to just get the G code. Simplified 3D, yeah, it hasn't been updated in forever. Well, I like it, it works, it slices things pretty decently, and I've never had an issue with it. Yeah, it's 150 bucks, Cura is free, but I prefer Simplified 3D versus Cura. If you've been watching my videos, you would know this about me by now. Cura is okay, it's free. I'm running Cura version 5, and the settings that I have work well with the Anycubic Cobra Max. The only reason why I'm using Cura is because Simplified 3D, as of the recording of this video, maybe earlier than that, I am not entirely sure that the Cobra Max is in the print database. So I can't add the profile. I can manually add it, but I'm being lazy. Yes, so I'm going to get into that for you guys. I'm going to show you exactly how I made this awesome print that I can't wait to sand down and paint. But first, let's talk. So I'm an independent channel. I haven't reached 1,000 subscribers yet, but you guys have been coming to my channel looking at all my tutorial videos, and that is great. I have a lot of things that I want to do. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you are returning, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. Of course, there are other ways you guys can go ahead and support the channel. I'm also a comic book artist. My comic book, The Super 6, just came out a couple weeks ago. You guys can go ahead and get a digital copy or order a hardcover copy because I have those in stock. So if you guys are looking to get your hands on my comic book, you can go to heroicstudiosmedia.com. This is done by me, drawn by me, written by me. The inking is done by my buddy Ronnie D. Reyes, and he does a great job, and this is the first of many books. So if you guys want to help support the channel, it goes a long way. Again, it comes in paperback like this, or you can get it digital off my website. Also, you can go to my website and read OLTIMA, The Legend Untold, which is another work done by me. It's free to read. Is that really weird? It's free to read, and you guys can soon be able to get 3 volumes in print. So it's going to be the first 12 chapters broken down into 3 volumes that you'll soon be able to buy in print. Of course, there's my main book series, the XENTON Chronicles, which spans about 6 books right now, with a new book coming out pretty soon that's in production right now. So if you guys are looking for a different, unique kind of story, go ahead and check out my books. They are on Amazon. This isn't me pushing you guys to help me out or anything like that. I just enjoy writing, and I think it's something that some of you guys might be interested in. And it's very easy to support the channel through that means, or you can just hit the subscribe button. It's really that simple. All right, now back to the show. So I'm going to open up Cura for you guys, and we are going to jump right on into how I made this. We are in Ultimaker Cura. This is version 5. Apparently there is a version 5. I haven't really checked to see if there's any updates. Now, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I did not come up with these settings on my own. When I got the Anycubic Cobra Max, there was a .fff file that came with the printer, and I just used that. Now, to be fair, I did end up tweaking some of the settings for my personal enjoyment. Like, for example, some of the supports didn't come off with the basic settings. I had to go and adjust that, as well as some of the heat, some of the speed, and of course, sometimes the layer height. So I'm going to go over every single aspect of my settings, and if you have a pen and paper, maybe take notes. But please be advised that the settings that I'm using here for the Anycubic Cobra Max might not work on a Creality Ender 3. They might not work on a Chiron. They might not work on an Ender 5 Plus. I don't know. You're going to have to go out and test it. Like I said, these settings did not work well for me in terms of certain things that I just was not used to, i.e. the support removals, or how dense those supports was, or the Z offset, things like that. So these are what I have gotten from Anycubic, as well as some of my own changes that I've made. All right, so here we go. Quality layer height is at a 0.2. I haven't gone anything higher than that. 0.2 is kind of like my sweet spot, and my Dr. Fate helmet was printed in a 0.2 layer height, and it looks great. I can't imagine what a 0.1 is going to look like. Probably just beautiful, and you don't even have to touch it if you're planning on painting or anything like that. The line width is 0.4, and the outer line wall is just 0.4 all the way down. I didn't really change that. This came exactly as is in terms of what I got from Anycubic. 140% initial layer line width. That is kind of like the squishiness that you see on the board. When you get that nice little squish on the first layer, you know that this print is going to adhere. So Anycubic decided to do that at 140%. I didn't change it, leave it alone. So there you go. If you want to pause this video right here to copy down my quality settings, have at it. But we're going to move on. Walls. So I left the walls alone because I think 3 is actually kind of a lot, to be honest. I don't really run with 3. I usually run with 2. I know people who run up to 4, and this thing is usually solid, but I never tried 3, so I decided to go with 3 with a wall thickness of 1.2 millimeters. Again, I didn't change any of this. I left it all alone. 0.4 transition lanes, distribution count, all this stuff. If you want to copy it, go ahead, pause the video, take notes, go on, and have at it. So moving on. See, all these settings that Cura has, this is another reason why I don't like Cura, because they just have so minute settings that, you know, if you don't know what they do, then you're not going to really understand why they're there. But, you know, they do have explanation on what these things do. In Simplified 3D, these things don't exist, and I get pretty decent prints all around with Simplified 3D. So the print thin walls were checked, so I went ahead and just kept that in there and moved on down. So top and bottom layers, they use 6 bottom layers, 6 top layers with a 1.2 millimeter line height, and they're using lines. So there are other things you can use. I haven't really, you know, played with this as much as I should. I just use these settings and I just throw whatever I print on there, and it comes out good every time. I haven't had any issues printing with these settings. So I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So let me go back up. If you didn't copy down the first half of the top and bottom, go ahead and pause the video, copy it down. Then we're going to scroll down, pause the video down here before we get to infill, and go ahead and copy it down. So it's up to you if you want to use these settings. If you know what these are, kudos to you. I have no clue. I have not gone through all of Cura's. And you can still add stuff too. Like, there's so many settings that you can add in Cura, and I think that's why a lot of people like it, because it's so customizable. Little minute settings that you can tweak ends up becoming like the god mode of all prints that these people use. So have at it. The infill was actually set at a higher, I think it was at 15, but I changed to 10, and I think I might change it to 8, which I'm going to do right now because I find that 8 is actually pretty decent to kind of make sure that these supports don't mesh with the actual print. Sometimes a little bit thicker. I used to run it at like 15%, 20% infill for all that fun stuff, and it's not necessary. Honestly, it's a waste of filament. 8% infill is actually what I would use. I know I was probably talking about supports before. Sorry if I confused you guys. And I always use triangles. Triangles have been known to be the fastest way to get your infill in there, but 8% usually is that. So if you're running with 8% infill and you have like a three wall line count, dude, this thing is going to be solid. It's going to be solid. 10% was what the Dr. Fate helmet was printed at. Anything going beyond that, it's still going to be solid. Dude, 8%, that's still a lot in my book, but triangles, and then whatever the hell these other settings are. So if you want to pause the video again, go ahead and copy it down. These are straight from Anycubic. I'm sure they tested this printer out and all that fun stuff. So Wipe distance, infill layer thickness, infill percentage, overlap. Like I said, these these supports are all over the place, dude. Not support, these settings are all over the place. It's just, you know, minute things. So I just left it alone. All right. Material, I have the printing temperature of 195, which is kind of cool for me. I usually run at around 200, 210, but 195 seems to have been working pretty good with the Anycubic, mainly because it's using a volcano head. So that's probably a way to kind of compensate. 210 is kind of a lot for a volcano head, but 195 seems to be working just fine. I didn't touch the temperature. I didn't touch the bed plate temperature. These are usually standard for most people. So there you go. They also have this new scaling factor shrinkage compensation for those parts that you might get that you have to put together to where the tolerances tolerances aren't too small. You know, you want to have everything fit together and all that fun stuff. So the flow rate is at 95%. All the stuff is at 95%. So I'm gonna go back up, starting from material. Go ahead, pause the video, copy all that down. Then we're gonna go down, inner walls, flow, all this support flow, you know, all this stuff. Go ahead, go ahead, pause the video, copy it down. All right, speed. I didn't touch speed either. Speed has been kind of one of the things that I just left alone. 80 millimeters a second. Now I know the Anycubic Cobra Max can go a lot faster than 80 millimeters a second, but it's just been something that I just didn't really touch. My Sidewinder, I have it running at about 60 millimeters a second. And that's just for like the first layer. Then after that, the speed kind of picks up just a bit, but 80 millimeters a second has been pretty ideal. So like I said, these settings haven't really given me any type of failed prints at all. So they work really, really well with this printer. So go ahead, pause the video, copy down the settings, and we're going to move on. Even a support speed, the speed at which it's building support is 80 millimeters a second. That is even a little bit fast for me. Usually my support speed, in order to get the supports to be built properly, I usually tone it down to about 20 millimeters a second from the default print speed. So in this case, it'll be 60 millimeters a second, but that's interesting how the speed for the support didn't change, and these supports actually come out really solid, on point. There's no problems with it. So way to go, Anycubic. All right, and then last but not least, here we go. All these other, oh my gosh, there's a lot of settings here. Acceleration, infill acceleration, wall acceleration, outer wall acceleration. Go ahead and let me go back up to support speed. Pause it. You can copy down these settings. Great. I'm going to go down to outer wall speed. You can go ahead and pause it. Hang on. Outer wall speed right here. Copy down the settings if you want. Print jerk, infill jerk. These are new to me. This is actually how the print head actually moves back and forth. There's a little jerky motion, and sometimes that can ruin the print if the jerking is too much. So 8 millimeters a second, which is really slow. It's actually fairly fair. All right, so go ahead, copy down those settings. And jerk is enabled. Jerk is enabled. That's funny. Go ahead, copy them down. There you go. Travel speed, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have not looked at any of these settings. I just jumped in to point FFF and went on my first print, and it turned out okay. The supports, like I said, were an issue, but I've remedied that, and I'm just waiting to get to that section. Travel speed, retraction settings to kind of help prevent oozing. I haven't had any oozing issues with this settings. So there you go. Travel, pause the video, copy them down. Let's go down some more. Combing mode. So this actually helps with a lot of the goop-de-goop that you're going to get on your printer as a result of retraction. And again, I haven't had any issues with combing. There you go. If you pause the video, copy it down. Cooling. Fan speed is on 100% right from the get-go. Like I said, it works. It works. This is how it is. All right, support settings. Here we go. This is what I had to actually take apart here. Now, support settings, it was the supports were actually melting with my print, and I had to do a lot of setting to get those extra supports off on my original Stormtrooper helmet that I did during the unboxing video. But the support structures are normal support structures. I know they have trees. I've never used trees before. I left it at normal, okay? The support overhang angle, they had it at 45. I did not like the 45 because that uses a lot of material. Basically anything that is at an angle is going to use support. I upped this to 65 because most of the stuff I print on the Anycubic is upside down. It's a helmet. I mean, 65 is pretty much ideal when you're printing basically a bowl, because that's what the helmet essentially is when it's upside down. I use zigzag patterns. Most people use lines. Have at it. I don't have a support wall line count. I left that alone. Support density. This was at 15% when I uploaded it in. I had to change it to 8. Actually, let me see if that's right. Yeah, it was at 15%, and that's kind of thick for me. So I changed it to 8 because that felt a little bit better. And you see these settings down here actually change support line distance and initial layer support line distance. These change with respect to how dense the supports are. These supports, they just fall right off. You don't have to worry about it. They do what they're supposed to do, and then you just pull them off when the print is done and throw them away. Simple, easy, and it doesn't use a lot of material. I think 8% is relatively a-okay. Now, another thing here is that the support distance, this is actually the distance from the support to the actual print, was a little low. It was about a 0.3, and some of these supports did not want to come off. So I gave it about a 0.5 mil. Was it a 0.3? Oh no, it was a 0.1. So barely anything there. I changed it to a 0.5 millimeter, and that solved the problem, especially with the first support that meets the print. It just comes right off. Yeah, you still got to do some sanding. Big whoop. That's nothing I'm too afraid of. But these settings right here, 0.5 mil, you could probably go 0.6 or 0.8 if you want, but the supports just melt right off. And yeah, so I'm gonna go back up. Go ahead, pause the video if you want to go ahead and copy down these supports. All right, we're gonna go down again. Go ahead, pause the video again if you want to copy down these supports. All right. I don't have any of these other things checked. The rest of this stuff is just minute stuff I never really use, okay? Build plate adhesion. I use a RAF. Never really use the RAF. I mean, but you got to when you're building helmets upside down. Helps the adhesion process. I didn't change any of this except for the RAF. I think this before was using, what was it using before? A brim. Yeah, I didn't really like the brim, so I went back to using a raft. Brim was not fun because this thing really lays down that first layer, and it's intense. So I went to raft because it's easy to pry off. But trust me, this it's supposed to, the way the bed has a perforated surface, once the bed is cool, the print is supposed to just sort of kind of come off, but that's not the case with a brim. So I use a raft and use the spatula to kind of get under there, and then from there, the whole damn thing just kind of pops off. So no big there. All pretty good. So go ahead and you can copy down these settings, pause the video, have at it. I didn't change any of these. The only thing I changed was the raft, was the type of support. Type of build plate adhesion. There we go. You can copy down the rest of them too. Cool. And wow, these are a lot of support settings in here. There you go. There is no dual extrusion. I didn't touch these, so I'm not going to go into it because I don't have dual extrusions. I don't have any mesh fixes. Just union overlap. Whatever these settings are, you can pause it. Go ahead, copy it down. Special modes, don't have one. And experimental, don't know what that is. There's a lot of more of whatever this is. So if you feel as though you need to copy these down, have at it. Pause the video and then go down. And that is it. That was the settings. Again, most of this stuff was from Anycubic. They sent you, whenever you buy any of their printers, they sent you the basic like settings that you can just throw on there, or you can just do your own. It's up to you. I wanted to get this printer up and running and printing stuff right away, so I used what they gave me, and it's worked so good ever since. So I don't have any complaints. I probably won't even tweak the settings. I only use Cura to slice stuff for the Cobra Max. I don't use Cura for like my Sidewinder, my Annette, or my Vox Lab. It is all just Cura for one printer because the settings so far have been freaking phenomenal. So yeah, there you go. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Please, let's talk. You know, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm willing to answer anything that you guys might have. And that's going to do it for me. Those same settings produce this awesome helmet. I have no complaints with this helmet. There's a few things that I think I want to play around with to tweak to make them better, but for the most part, this bad boy is going to be super easy to finish, sand, and add paint to. I am not complaining about this one bit, and I'm actually going to go start printing another helmet that I want to do. I'm not going to let you guys know what it is, so if you don't follow me already on social media, hit me up on my Facebook page, Heroic Studios Media. I post in the 3D printing fan pages or groups on Facebook, so you guys can just follow those links over to my page and follow me there. I have an Instagram, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is worth it. I'm trying to do more videos, and apparently you guys are starting to like it because my subscriber count has gone up in the last couple of days because of this bad boy right here. So if you're really eager to see what I build next, I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on that I will be doing build videos for, so please subscribe. You don't have to hit the notification bell because that is annoying. I tell you that, it's very annoying. Just getting notifications of people uploading videos all the time. You don't have to do that, but the subscription, it really helps me out a lot. So just go ahead and do that, and makes my day. And of course, check out my website, heroicstudiosmedia.com. Go buy yourself a comic book, copy of the Super 6, or even check out Ultima, The Legend Untold, or buy any of my books, XENTON Chronicles. It does help me keep this channel alive and helps me buy material so I can do cool projects like this and show you guys exactly how to do it. This is what I live for, showing you guys exactly what to do. Again, I'm no expert, but I think that I can get you guys started if your 3D printing adventure is just beginning. There you go. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Please share the video. If you know anybody who wants to know how to make awesome prints like this, go ahead and share this video with them, and I will see you guys next time. I might do a build video. I'm working on stuff down in my shop. So have at it, guys. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you guys next time.